The wonderful world of lucid dreaming. What is it? What is this world of waking up into a whole new world of possibilities? A door that opens many other doors. A world that changes in an instant when you understand its nature. This world in dream that you think at first is real in a specific way, but when understood exactly what it is, what exactly everything in it is, then everything changes. And so this world of a dream, when waking up in the dream, then all possibilities are at your fingertips. All possibilities are limited only by you, the dreamer. And it is wonderful because it allows the self to unfold in ways that otherwise would only be tentative, whereas in a dream it unfolds in very colorful and complex ways that allows the self to be discovered and other things to be discovered which would otherwise be difficult to focus upon. A lucid dream has its own momentum where one can still be passive in the lucid dream where the only activity is the lucidity, and so the dream is speaking to you, where no creation would be necessary, just a wakefulness, an awareness, a clarity. And in that lucidity, if one were passive, a whole series of stories and movements and communication can occur to such depths that actually the depths seem boundless, and maybe they are boundless, that the experience itself is overwhelming in a positive way, or possibly in a negative way, but insofar as knowing that it is a dream, then it can be turned at any moment to a positive. When thinking about a certain truth, for instance, that one would be hungry to understand, that truth, in full passivity, except for lucidity, can unfold itself at whatever speed and depth you desire. And your desires manifest themselves in great complexity in ways that you understand because they are you, but because they're unfolding to ever-growing depths and complexity and form, you're being communicated your desires to greater clarity. And the relationship between you and your desires and the desires between other desires. And so, in a way, this lucid dreaming can actually reveal you to depths that would otherwise be difficult to imagine. Because in a dream, the body is completely surrendered. It is the subject, it is the subjugated surrender to which we allow all possibilities to happen. And in a lucid state and in a dream state, those possibilities, that surrender, invites possibilities that would otherwise be in a physically waking state filtered out, and which is filtered out. Because in the physically waking state, we have obligations which have to filter out a lot of the self in a very broad sense. But in a dream and in a lucid dream, there are no filters necessary. and allowing oneself to surrender completely and passively being lucid, so to speak, then a blooming of other parts of the self manifest, either slowly or fast in time, and allow a discovery and therefore new possibilities that can be brought with you back to the physically waking world, and either entirely change your perspective or offer a new subtle perspective that could change the way the physically waking life is interacted with. It could change the direction of the physically waking world. Now there are certain tricks that can be used in order to enhance the lucid dreaming leverage or entering the lucid dream. And one of these tricks, and although there are many tricks, and in a way there's no limited amount of tricks or tools that one can use to enter the lucid dream state, but one of my personal ones that I am using as of late, I'll just put it straightforward. So I have a book on lucid dreaming that I bought many, many years ago, and I've read it on and off throughout the years. And it's been a while since I had opened it, and I wanted to try something new. I wanted to use an object as a prism in order to awaken and initiate the lucid dreaming activity while I'm sleeping, and not to just simply wake up and ask myself the question or wonder, what did I dream last night? But rather I wanted to wake up and remember, which are two different things, similar but quite different. So I take an object, and in a way I infused it as a talisman. A talisman is basically an emotionally charged object that has either an idea or intention behind it. And so whenever you interact with this object, the intention or the idea and or the emotion is brought back to you. So in this case, I took a stone that I found in my desk that I had not used in a long time, that I had not interacted with for a long time. And this stone, I did a small ritual where I stood in front of myself in a mirror. I raised the stone laterally, and while looking at it, I said, "You will be my jewel of dreams." I said it out loud. And with an intense focus, although relaxed physically, but I asked myself, am I dreaming now? And I asked the jewel of my dream this question. And I waited until I felt a special quality of awareness and lucidity and experience as though I were in a dream. So in a way I kind of induced the quality of feeling like I were in a dream while doing this little ritual. And then I said thank you as a way to end the ritual. I call it a ritual really, it's just initiating the object as to have a function. And I put this jewel and the book beside my bed before going to sleep. And in fact, I put the jewel, well, I call it the jewel, but it's really just a stone. My parents used to have a jewelry store when I was a kid, so we have a lot of stones lying around when I was a kid, and then I took some of them. So this is one of those stones. It's like a quartz crystal. I thought it would be, any object could be used. Another object I thought about using was these old miniature, I think they're made out of tin or pewter, miniature figurines, and just use that, but I thought something a little bit more abstract would resonate more for me. So I put the book about lucid dreaming beside my bed, and I put the stone on the book. And then when I got into bed, I leaned over towards the book and the stone. I took the stone in my hand and I said, "You are," and I said this out loud, I said, "You are the jewel of my dreams, and you will be in my dream tonight, and I will remember you in the morning." And so I put then the stone back onto the book, and I slowly went to sleep. And so in the morning, of course, we are creatures of habits, so in the morning I would get up as I usually do, but of course there's this new object that is facing me when I'm trying to get out of bed, and then I said, "Oh yeah, this jewel." So I did not, the first time I did this, I did not remember the dream as soon as upon waking, because like I said, we are creatures of habits, of momentum, and change sometimes happens very quickly, and other times when the change is, especially if it is has a counter-current to the general habits that we have, then it might take some either more tricks or more time. And so I took the stone into my hand, and I said, "What did I dream tonight?" And slowly but surely, the dream did come back to me, and it wasn't anything. It wasn't interesting dreams as far as dreams go. Some dreams might actually not be as interesting as others, but generally speaking, dreams tend to be interesting because they're either interesting because they're so nonsensical, or they're interesting because they make so much sense. And it tends to go in one of the two directions. Although there are some maybe that are in the middle, but in my experience, they tend to be more interesting than not. And so this stone interrupts the general habits of the sleep, right? So now I put it. So when I do wake up, I will put the book and the stone somewhere else before I go back to sleep, because I need to, or I want to remember to reinitiate the movement of placing the book and the stone by the bed again, so that it's not just always lying there, because I simply accept it as an object beside the bed that it tends, not necessarily, but it could have a tendency to lose its value and its meaning if it is constantly there. But if it is put away and then re-put before going to bed, it's kind of recharging the meaning of what its function is. And so this is one way to initiate the lucid dreaming. So, of course, the example I gave was not specifically for a lucid dream, but it was just to remember dreams, because when I started doing this, it was simply to have create a clear bridge between when waking up and remembering the dream. And then the next step is to create a lucid dream where once you achieve the manifestation of this stone or whatever object one would choose to as this talisman or this dream token, if one wants to use that word, appears in the dream, you say, "Oh yeah, this object is about dreams or lucid dreaming," and therefore it should be a very simple. It is a very simple process from that point on, and a very easy, simple, but very powerful trick that appears in your dreams and, of course, appears in reality. And so, enjoy.